You guys have all heard the story. Boy meets girl, boy falls for girl, boy makes a complete fool of himself, and ends up winning the girl over. That's the most cliché story of them, but still, slightly romantic nonetheless. Her name was Elle. I guess the first thing I distinctly noticed about her was the piercing stare she gave me. The stare of someone who has lost so much, they've got nothing left to lose. It took me quite a few days to go up to her and manage an introduction. However, I always found myself not up to the task, so to speak. Each time I would see her, her clothes would be, of course, different, though I could tell one outfit was more valued than others. It wasn't a ceremonial dress, nor was it something that stood out above all else. It was simply a pair of jeans that had a minor incision just above the knee. A white t-shirt, with extremely faded graphics printed upon the shirt, complete with some classic sneakers. I know it wasn't something to be wowed by, but the way she carried herself, as if her outfit was empowering her for the day. I must sound like a crazed stalker, but trust me when I say, love catches up with us all. The very first time I had seen her was in passing. I happened to be walking by a park on a dimly gray afternoon. Calmly, she was seated, reading a book. Now, I had never been one for love at first sight. I thought, statistically and logically, there are people out there with perfect ratios of compatibility. I also knew that these situations could take someone completely by surprise. I didn't think, however, that this type of situation would cause someone's legs to freeze in place. That's what happened to me. I noticed her and I froze. I couldn't tell you the book she was reading. I couldn't recount the amount of people in the park. I couldn't even tell you how cold it was outside, but what I can say, when she first looked upon me, I was lost. Thinking quickly, I managed to regain my limbs and I briskly walked away. The following day, I decided to take another casual stroll to find this perfect goddess among women. There she was, sitting under a tree eating an apple. In hindsight, I wish I wouldn't have been so absurdly shy and just talked to her. I thought since it was a free country and anyone can enjoy the public park, I decided to relax upon a nearby bench. The clouds danced in the sky, but the girl danced in my head. I began crafting elaborate daydreams of this mystery girl. It would start out perfectly. She would walk up and say,
Apple?
Apple? No, it wouldn't be Apple. Why, hello. I was actually talking to her. I frantically thought up responses to any question she may ask, as well as a few questions to ask her. Even though ideas were piling into my mind, words ceased to come out. She simply smiled at me, taking a seat on the bench and handing me an apple. It's strange being so close to someone that makes you feel so heavy, granting you a weight in your chest that pulls you to the floor. I turned and asked her what her name was. She told me it was Elle, the name that forever burned within my brain. For the next few days, it was safe to say I was on cloud 9. The mere thought of this girl brought such a powerful smile. I truly longed to see her each and every day. So that became my mission. Day after day, I would meet Elle at the park and we would sit, chat, relax, and just enjoy each other's company. We shared our past. We wishfully talked about our futures. She told me about her hobbies. I told her about my skills. Without thinking, I vowed I would see her each and every day at this park. But by the time I realized what I had said, it was too late. She gave me a crushing look as if I were some simple creep or a deranged lunatic, before grabbing my hand.
I'd like that.
Those solemn words filled me with joy I had never experienced. After every encounter with Elle, I felt that my whole body was refreshed. I still can't get the thought of her out of my head, not that I'd want to. Her eyes more blue than the vast oceans that cover our planet. Her hair, smooth and unfrayed, smelled of strawberries. That beautiful, unflawed smile overpowered anyone with a simple glance. After the countless years of searching for my compatible soulmate, I think she might be the one. One day, soon, I will ask her to marry me. More days passed, and I became more and more infatuated with Elle. This serene peacefulness I felt when around her was overwhelming yet welcome. I wanted to spend all of eternity with her, every moment spent pulling her close to me, to feel the warm embrace of one whom which you care so deeply. Then, the day arose where I would ask such a question which would bind us for the rest of existence. I asked her hand in marriage. She was breathless, though, being a smart person, she needed a couple days to think about this large decision. I respected that, though it didn't soften the blow any. I was crushed. I waited for the reply patiently. She could have just outright said no to me, but she didn't. She merely said she needed time to think. Well, the following day we met up at our usual spot under the large tree at the park. She had tears in her eyes, as if unable to restrain the many stresses of her life. I quickly rushed to her with a fast embrace. She held me tighter than ever before. Looking up at me with her eyes burning from the hours of crying made me feel sorrow and helpless. I tried to cheer her up the best I could, but it barely fazed. She told me that her love for me was unmatched, that no other could ever take my place.
But we can't be together.
Instantly, my whole world cracked like glass. My mind making up exaggerated excuses. I found myself apologizing for stuff I haven't done. She smiled weakly and told me it wasn't my fault, that it was her and not me. I felt this terrible void cave into my chest, as if my very life force was draining out of me. Tears began to well up. The attempts to hide this pain from her became too difficult. She rested her head on my chest as I sobbed hopelessly. I've thought about Elle every day since I was 18. It's been 5 long years. Each and every month of my life, I dream of her and spending the rest of my life with her. I simply can't take it anymore. To be eternally with my dream girl is to dream eternally about her. I love you, Elle. I'll see you tomorrow.